So the first thing I do if a patient gets referred to me in this situation, they're iron deficient, they could not tolerate IV iron, cannot tolerate oral iron, is I like to get a really good history on what happened when they got the IV iron infusion. All formulations of IV iron are an iron molecule attached to a sugar molecule. The basic kind of pharmacologic principle of IV iron is that you need that sugar molecule, that the IV iron is slowly metabolized so that it can be incorporated into storage using transferrin and ferritin. And then it can be safely stored in your red blood cells, your bone marrow, and your liver. So when people react to an IV iron infusion, typically what's happening is that they're metabolizing that sugar molecule more quickly than the average person. Treatment for that is to slow down the IV iron infusion or stop and wait. Cases of true anaphylactic shock to IV iron are quite rare. But the way that we manage those is we switch to an alternate IV iron infusion. So high molecular weight iron dextran is the formulation of IV iron that is most notorious for causing a severe iron infusion reactions. We have some newer formulations such as ferric carboxymaltose and ferric dirysomaltose, which is the brand name is monoferric. These have low rates of iron infusion reaction, I believe, because the sugar molecule is much more complex. These newer formulations of IV iron are still on patent. They are expensive, and so most commercial insurance payers in the United States will not pay for them as the initial option, the first IV iron infusion. But a case like this is precisely one where I can usually get the insurance company to pay. The data on pre-medicating is really goes against pre-medication at this time. So as a rule, I don't do pre-medication, but in some circumstances, I may consider pre-medicating with steroids, Tylenol, or Benadryl. But as a general rule, I don't do that. So if all else fails, if the patient truly cannot tolerate any IV formulation of iron, they cannot tolerate oral iron, and they remain severely iron deficient, the only other option I have is a blood transfusion. Hope that helps. Follow along for more information about blood.